Joining us now is Ojinika, Genix, Oji, Okpe, with stories trending around the world. Hello, G. How are you?
Why does he always do that? He caught me unawares. Good morning, Dr. Patti. How are you? Pinstripe. I love it.
Thank you.
Good morning, Tundu.
Fusha. I love it.
I know that. You know I wore it for you, just for you. How are you?
Thank you.
Fusha, I love it.
All right.
Tan, I love it.
Tan, I love.
Pinstripe, I love it.
Okay.
All of you, I love you.
Mutual Admiration Society here. Okay.
You guys are all great. Well, good morning to you, viewers. Here are some of the stories that are trending across the globe. In the United States, former President Donald Trump called for the boycott of Twitter and Facebook after the social media giants banned accounts linked to Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia. On Sunday, Twitter announced that it had permanently suspended Greene's personal account for spreading COVID-19 misinformation. Trump, whose own accounts on the platforms were banned following the January 6th Capitol riot, urged his supporters to cease using both platforms, calling Twitter a disgrace to democracy. In the United Kingdom, taking photos of breastfeeding mothers in public without their consent will soon become a crime in England and Wales when the police crime sentencing and courts bill going through Parliament becomes law. On Tuesday, Justice Secretary Dominic Raab held a move stating that it will stop women from being pestered, whether it's for self-gratification or for harassment purposes. Campaigners welcomed the decision, calling it a victory for breastfeeding mothers. In Australia, Dakota Nenke, a 13-month-old twin, has become the youngest person to die after testing positive for COVID-19. The toddler tragically died in her sleep on December 27th, just 2 days after Christmas. She survived by her twin sister, Haley, her parents, and 2 other siblings. Under sports, 20-time Grand Slam champion Novak Djokovic is set to defend his Australian Open title after receiving a medical exemption to travel to Melbourne, ending months of uncertainty about his participation because of the strict COVID-19 vaccination requirements in place for the tournament. The tennis star, who has continually refused to reveal if he is vaccinated against the coronavirus, took to Instagram to announce his exemption permission, causing a wave of outrage in Australia. Finally, under entertainment, disgraced film producer Harvey Weinstein is facing yet another sex assault claim. Scotland Yard is investigating a report by a woman that he sexually assaulted in Westminster in the 1990s, bringing a total number of women who have made allegations in the United Kingdom against the former movie mogul to 12 out of 17 sexual assault claims reported from the 1980s to 2015. The 69-year-old was jailed for 23 years for rape and sexual assault in the United States in 2020. Well, let's begin what's trending. The Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, on Tuesday won the hearts of many Lagosians when he stormed the Magodo Phase 2 estate in a bid to dismiss police officers stationed there in what he described as an illegal operation. A Chief Superintendent of Police, Abimbola Oyewole, who claimed to have been stationed there at the estate on the orders of the Inspector General of Police and the Attorney General of the Federation, defied the governor when he was asked to vacate the premises with his men. Let's take a look at the video before we take some reactions.
Can you call your superior in Abuja and tell them that the governor is here and I'm the chief security officer and that you don't have any business being in my state right now and that I want you to disengage forthwith for him?
Thank you very much, sir. Your Excellency, sir. I'm not here on my own orders.
That's why I'm asking you to make a phone call and tell them, your superior, that I'm here standing in front of you. Make that phone call.
Thank you, sir. I'm here on instruction of this Inspector General of Police to the AGF, sir. And that is why I'm here. I'm too small or too low to call them. Your Excellency, sir, with due respect, sir, you can call them directly, sir.
I have spoken to the Attorney General at this moment, so he's not aware that you are here.
We are expecting the call that we should disengage.
That's what I'm saying to you.
Yes, sir.
Because when I make the phone call, it'll be tougher. If you can call and say that the governor is here in front of you, what should you do?
It is not my duty to call because I'm too low to do that, sir.
Okay.
If you call...
So where are your men?
My men are here. They are all over the estate, sir.
How many men do you have here?
I have several of them, sir.
No, what number?
What's the number, please?
I cannot precisely tell you the number.
So even if anything happens to your men, you don't even know the number of men?
I know the number of my men I have here.
What is the number?
We sought for some other people to join us now.
What is the number that you have here?
I'm sorry, sir, Your Excellency.
So you cannot even do an head count of the number you
For
have?
the security purpose, I cannot say this is the figure, sir.
So you don't know the number of men?
I know the number, but for security purpose, I cannot say this is the figure, sir.
So you know I'm the one talking to you?
Yes,
you say
sir.
you're an assistant, what is it?
I'm a Chief Superintendent of Police.
Oh, CSP?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. So pressmen, don't worry. I'll make 2 phone calls, right? One to the Inspector General of Police and one to the Attorney General of Police, Attorney Inspector of the Federation. I have spoken with him this morning and says he knows nothing about the fact that they're still here. Very illegal operation. They have absolutely nothing, and I'm the Chief Security of the state. Not even with the Inspector General wrote me, and before I said Jack Robinson, his men are here. They're not from the Lagos State Police Command, like you have said, right? They are not from Lagos State Police Command. It says it's coming from Abuja, and I don't know what other interest do they have beyond just keeping peace of the country. Absolutely. This is not an expectation that I will expect for them to keep peace, because they don't have any business here at all. The case is between the state government, and I'm this governor standing in front of you, not with my residents. These are my residents that have been
Before we discuss, let's take some reactions. This is from author and activist Rena Mockery, who wrote, "The way that police CSP disgraced and disobeyed Sanwolu at Magodo shows why we need state police. More importantly, it should also open the eyes of those who think Sanwolu ordered the Lekki massacre. If a policeman can disobey him, how much more soldiers?" Another user, Aziz, wrote, "Constitutionally, the IGP can disregard the authority of the governor, period. Sanwolu should not have gone there. A simple phone call to AGF Malami and the police would have sufficed." Another terrible advice from the same team that rushed him into the NSAS saga. Well, our lawyer here, both lawyers, should he have gone there or shouldn't he have gone there?
I see nothing wrong with him going there. Let's talk about why he went there. Yeah. There was about to be some kind of a breakdown of law and order. And yes, as governor, he could have delegated, but it shows that he's been hands-on, he's taking charge, he's been responsible. Isn't that what we want from our leaders? We don't want our leaders sitting up in some ivory tower and making phone calls. He went to the site with his cabinet, as he ought to have done. So I disagree with the other tweets, that you said. The issue here is, and I don't see the disgrace. I agree with the Reno tweet, apart from the use of the word disgrace. The first thing I said about this when we were talking about it in a previous segment of this show was that those who have questions about what happened on the 20th of October 2020 can now see some of the answers. Yes. But I don't see it as a disgrace. I'm glad that we had this exchange and we have it. It's so public. It has laid bare a lot of the issues that have been discussed. Now we can actually see it. The importance of a state police. It has to happen. The importance of restructuring. The fact that the 1999 Constitution serves no one, even those who feel that it serves them, are completely mistaken. And I refer to the communique on the 5th of July, dated the 5th of July, after the meeting of the Southern governors, saying that any operations from the security agencies, which we all know are federal security agencies, that governors should be notified before you carry out operations in their states. That clearly did not happen here. And obviously, the communique also called for state police. I also referred to something that Governor Fayemi said I found very interesting. If you get a commissioner of police and you tell him as a governor, give him an instruction, he will tell you, I'm going to go away and do some preparations, but he's not doing any preparations. He's gone to call the Inspector General of Police, and if the Inspector General tells him to go ahead, he will. If he tells him not to go ahead, then he won't. And really, that is constitutionally backed. The issue is not any kind of disobedience or disgrace by that police officer. He is actually doing what the Constitution requires him to do. Our problem, as always, is the Constitution, and we have to amend it. It just shows, and how are we ever going to make any progress? This is why insecurity is rife in this country, because the state governors have no control, and they have their security votes, and they use that money to buy vehicles for the police. They use it to help the police, but they actually have no say over what the police does. So this is clearly untenable. You see a commissioner of police, upon appointment, he will go and greet the governor as if reporting to duty, but he's not reporting to the governor. So the whole situation is shambolic.
Yeah, I thought that standoff was completely unnecessary. I disagree with a lot of the way the policeman behaved, because if the chief security officer is telling him to go and make a phone call, even though he claims he is too small, he could have gone to call the superior and left that place. That was completely unacceptable, Rufai.
Okay. Oji.
Yes.
You see, concerning the matter on ground, there's nothing that police officer could have done. It's the way our country is wired. It's just that over the years, we don't like telling ourselves the truth. But now it's coming to bite us in the face. He can't call his superiors. You think that man can, a CSP can call the IG directly? What did he eat?
Why ever not?
What did he eat?
Why ever
CSP will pick up call and call IG directly. What did he eat? He doesn't work that way. He can't. He cannot do it. But you see, it goes one step further to show you what our country has become. This same constitution that a lot of people put together for us in 1999. You see, we interviewed Abdulsalami Abubakar here, and he said something that was quite jolting to me that day. He said, if you don't like the constitution, why don't you change it? What have we done at changing the constitution? President Babajide Sanwo-Olu talked about 2004 conference. We've had another one. We've been talking about another one. We've been talking about constitutional reform. Let me even dial back. We had the conference in 1995, creation of state and all of that. All of this was still around what the constitution should be. We said the great one, the one that we all adopt, is the 63 constitution. But we've not done anything as regards it. This constitution is, I don't know how to explain it. Words fail me. Nigeria president is the most powerful president in the world as we speak today with this constitution. He's a monarchy on his own. He has all the powers necessary. And you see what shocks me the most is that in that same constitution, he can run an election. He can pick who will be in INEC. He can control the police force. He can control the army. He can control everything. The first step is, if we want to avoid things like this, constitutional reform should be part of it. We need to go back to the lawmakers that keep pushing it back to us. Because you see, those lawmakers, they are another kettle of fish. You know, when they want to sneak in direct primaries, they can do it by themselves. But when the people agitate and say, oh, let us have transmission of results, they act like they don't hear. And they lie that in their own villages, there's no 4G. Thank God, in one of them, their villages, we saw somebody doing a conference call with us on 4G. These same lawmakers act funny, like they don't even know what is happening. They will start the process of constitutional review. They will perambulate, rigmarole, do everything they want to do. Nothing is being done. We've gone through this another 4 years dispensation now. Nothing has been done as well as constitutional review, and it's going to be like that. It's not, you can't sustain it. You can't build a country this way.
Yes.
That's why you're seeing all the implosions and the agitations here and there.
Complete implosion. Dr. Abati.
Okay, I mean, I've dealt with this at great length when we first took this subject under headlines. So I'll try to cut through the chase very quickly. One, I think that the governor acted well and properly. There was a threat to public order at that Magodo Phase 2 with all the property owners carrying placards. About 3 times in the last 1 week, they've been carrying placards and they've been protesting. And they've called on the governor to come to their rescue. And the governor went there to see things for himself. He went with his deputy, with his commissioners, with his attorney general and commissioner for justice. So a demonstration of responsiveness on the part of the governor. And he was able to hold the peace. He reassured the people that something will be done and that he will call the Inspector General of Police, the Attorney General of the Federation. And we were told that he did so. And there's been some calm in the last 24 hours in that Magodo Phase 2 estate. In another few minutes, the meeting will reconvene. They've been holding that meeting, however, since the Supreme Court judgment of 2012, which favored Adebayo Adeyiga and others. We just hope that this time around, the Sanwo-Olu administration will be able to resolve the situation. As for the policeman, Abimbola Oyewole, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets promoted by superiors, because what he has done is simply, to stand up as a policeman who understands what the guidelines are. Under the Police Act, the command structure of the Nigerian police force is very rigid. And what that particular fellow has thrown at Sanwo-Olu is that rigid command structure. And that was why I was saying, I'm too small and too low. And he was doing so in typical Yoruba fashion, genuflecting. As I said earlier, at a point, I thought he was going to kiss the feet of the governor. But in any case, he made his point, and he was stating the rules. Now, I said earlier, I quoted the relevant portions of the Constitution, particularly Section 215 subsection 4. There, governors are specifically mentioned as chief security officers. But governors from autumn who wept when the commissioner of police ignored him, to the Southern Governors Forum, who in May and July pointed out that they are powerless. So what this demonstrates graphically, and this is a video that will remain viral for a very long time, anytime state police issues come up, is a powerlessness, is the hollowness of the fanciful title, Chief Security Officer, with which governors are deodorized and characterized, So this is the problem confronting us, and how the failure of Nigeria to listen to participants at the 2004 National Political Reform Conference and the 2014 National Political Conference on the issue of state police. So, the basic thing, of course, is that this Nigerian police, is it working for the Nigerian people? No. I do not think so. No. Should the Constitution be reviewed? Yes, it should be reviewed. The additional point I want to make is as follows. I think Babajide Sanwo-Olu himself as governor must be embarrassed that this has happened, because Lagos State, more than any other state in the Federation, invested heavily in the police and equipping the police. And not just the police, also the other security agencies. Sanwo-Olu and I were in the pioneer board of the Lagos State Security Trust Fund. Okay? So he understands how the police works in Lagos. He was part of that team, that operationalized the mandate of the Lagos State Security Trust Fund under Governor Babatunde Fashola. And what were we doing at that time? We mobilized the Lagos private sector and individuals to fund the police. And that was how the Lagos State government set up the command structure, set up the rapid response scheme, equipped the rapid response scheme. We even, there was also Operation Mensa also. The Navy and all these agencies were supported by the Lagos State government. And that was how the Lagos State government, was able to lower the crime rate in Lagos. Now, Sanwo-Olu, as a pioneer member of that process, must have been speaking with confidence that, look, he knows how these things work, and that you please call your bosses and all that. So for him also, it was a reality check that Lagos State is investing so much, and yet the same Lagos State cannot have a say. And I'm sure that there are other governors who have copied the Lagos State Security Trust Fund model, who will see this as some kind of shocking moment to say, oh, we're copying, we're funding these people. The same federal government, the same Inspector General of Police that the man is quoting, cannot account for arms and ammunition. Under his watch, the armory is being stolen blind. And yet he has that authority that he derives from the Constitution of Nigeria, and then a situation whereby the President of Nigeria, under Section 215, subsection 3 of the Constitution, has almost absolute control over the Nigerian police. It's an unacceptable situation. And that's why people are calling for state police. And I gave us reference for the purposes of people who want more information on this, the police in the federal system, the Nigerian experience, by Kemi Rotimi, who is a leading authority on the role of the police within a federation. He's a professor in the Department of History of the Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife.
Well said, Dr. Abati. We shall take another story. The Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, on Tuesday admitted that the federal government is yet to gazette the order designating bandits as terrorists. While speaking during a live interview, the AGF said that the federal government is trying to ensure that it operates within the confines of international best practices associated with engagement. And one of such best practices is that you can only use maximum force on groups and individuals that are declared terrorists, while referencing the application of the Terrorism Act. The AGF went further to state that Nigeria acted first by proscribing the indigenous people of Biafra and Boko Haram, which in turn propelled the government to consider the proscription of bandits and the use of military hardware against the insurgents. On November 25th, a federal high court in Abuja declared the activities of all bandit groups in the country as act of terrorism. The AGF said his office will be gazetting the court order in a few days. Well, in another development, reactions have trailed the killing of two notorious bandits, Alhaji Auta and Kalicha Luga in Zamfara State. The bandits were said to have been responsible for the abduction of many residents in the states. While social political organization, the Arewa Consultative Forum on Monday hailed the officers of the Nigerian Air Force that carried out the aerial bombardment of the bandits' hideouts, which neutralized the duo and many of their followers. This is a victory for the Nigerian Air Force and, Nigeria in general, because obviously these two leaders of bandits in Zamfara State have been responsible for killing so many Nigerians. And apparently during their burial, there was also another bombardment which killed even more of the bandits. But I believe this whole conversation really borders down on the use of military hardware on these terrorists. If you recall, I believe it was 2 weeks ago, Femi Adesina had said that the Buhari administration was going to end, insurgency with probably the use of these new Tucano air jets. But now, once you have proscribed or designated bandits as terrorists, they can now use these Tucano jets, and hopefully we will end insurgency in Nigeria. Sorry. Got that.
I just want to say congratulations to the Nigerian Air Force. This is so exciting, wonderful news. I mean, we're celebrating the deaths of people that did deserve to die, quite frankly. As for Malami, there's not enough time. I'm just going to give you some headlines here. Do the needful, not bore us with nomenclature. Afeni Ferry. Malami's reasons baseless. Pandef. Government living in denial. Ohaneze. Malami not consistent. ADF. And I'll leave it at that.
Right. Okay. Quickly.
Well, very quickly, I mean, the AGF saying that they have to obey certain conventions and all of that, that's just rhetoric. The order of the Court of Justice Taiwo in November 21, Abuja Division of the Federal High Court, is that yes, following the application of the Director of Public Prosecution, that bandits be classified as terrorists, the line of justice granted that order, and then said that it should be gazetted. The characterization should be gazetted, and it should be published in 2 newspapers. The AGF has assured us that this will be completed within a matter of days, and we'll keep watching, and we hope it will do that. Finally, as for the Nigeria Air Force, eliminating the leaders of the Yandaga and the Yahaba or whatever, I think congratulations to them. The only thing is that this should be sustained. We would like to see the Air Force and the Nigerian military, raising the bar in terms of performance.
10 seconds to 5, really quickly.
You want to end banditry in 17 months, but you can't gazette something calling the bandits terrorists. It speaks volumes.
You're right, it does. Well, thank you all for your great analysis today. That's all I have for you on What's Trending. We'll see you tomorrow.